Hello and welcome to Finextra. I'm Thea George and I'm here with Giorgio Ferrero and John Broxis of PRETA. We're at EBA Day 2016 in Milan and we're talking about identity verification and PSD2. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
So Giorgio, if I could turn to you first, what do you mean by identity verification?
Identity verification is the completion of a service suite that within PRETA we have envisaged since the very beginning. Because since the very beginning we have said that my bank is not only payments, but because payments are no longer the navel of the payment business, but the payment business should focus on the whole transaction. And so we have completed this. We are in the end of the piloting phase of the identity verification. And what is it? It's a solution for which people, meaning a legal person or a physical person, can give the authority to their banks to exchange or to deliver their own identity data to a requesting party. In a full control mode, rely on the same protocol, security protocol, which has been put in place for the online banking e-payment, which is gaining ground both in terms of turnover and geographical expansion, and for the mandate as well. So there is also a rationalization of the instruments which are utilized. And is useful because in the end of the day, through their own banks, people, companies, public authorities, public administration can exchange data related to their own identity. But it does not reflect a pure identity concept. It is also helping, let's say, people in general, enterprises, to stipulate contract in a digital way through the online banking system of the bank without recurring to the need of the electronic signature. So this is something actually innovative, and what we have seen, there is a growing demand by the end users.
So why should banks be interested in identity verification, and can you tell us the stage you've reached with the pilot that you're running?
There are several reasons why banks should be interested in my bank identity. Because first of all, it does represent a new business line from which they can extract value. Another point important is that even today and more in the market, there is a demand for recognizing, materializing the customer centricity. Customer centricity is not something that just you have to announce and put in some slides. It's something that is necessary to be materialized. And in this way, banks can offer a sort of proximity to their customers. Without being bank-centric, because they are responding to demand that is a demand felt by both physical person, legal person, and also public administration. And this, to some extent, is also a way to reintermediate themselves in a world that is completely changing. Because now the payment environment is end-to-end, and identity verification is a tool exactly helping all the actors, not necessarily the banks. And banks put at the disposal of their customer the incredible, the wealth of information they have, and they have to maintain for compliance reasons on behalf of their customers, and delivering information that are useful for their customer in interacting with their counterparties. So there are several reasons, those are the main. In terms of, that's why also we dare to say in PRETA that with my bank identity we are taking quite a number of steps in the so-called open banking. Where we stay today, we stay that we are almost completed the pilot. We have planned to finish the pilot within the end of next September. Then we will have 2 months of buffer in order to give some final answer to interested participants, and launching the final solution in the first quarter 2017. So let's say that there is a demand in the market. We understand that the banks have still to digest a bit what is all about. But we are very much encouraged also by the EBA authority discussion paper on the subject, that reading them we see a lot of my bank in there as well.
So Giorgio alluded to open banking. Obviously identity verification is a key issue when it comes to the forthcoming PSD2 directive. So John, could you talk a little bit about another key PSD2 issue, which is access to accounts? I know you've launched a consultation around this. What's the problem that you're trying to solve?
Okay, well, the PSD2 has gone into law. It'll go live in 2018, and the banks will all have to comply with the access to account provisions, which means they'll have to let third parties identify themselves to them and be able to initiate payments or do account information services. There's still quite a lot of uncertainty because there's regulatory technical standards that have not yet been published. Nevertheless, even when they're published, we believe that banks will be able to comply with the technical standards, comply with the regulation, but they will not be working with each other. They will create fragmented solutions that do not allow consumers, merchants, public authorities to achieve the goals of the regulation of the European Commission that drives towards the digital single market, and also means therefore that the banks can't leverage the services that they'll be providing to create other cooperative, collaborative services. Therefore, we want to do a consultation to find out whether the banks agree that there is a problem, agree that a collaborative solution of some kind is needed, and to help us define what that collaborative solution should look like.
Okay, and how does this fit with other open API initiatives in the marketplace?
Well, clearly this is a huge topic at the moment. Many people are looking into APIs, trying to understand how they can open their accounts for open banking. There's a lot of service providers, fintechs, all in this space. We don't want to crowd into that. We fully believe that there is a value-added area which is not regulated, where banks are free to do whatever they like. But then there is a compliance-driven area, a regulated area, where the interface, whether it's an API or a more traditional interface, must work together. Because if you don't have reach, it won't work. Payments is a network business, and with banking, divided you fall, united you stand.
Guys, this has been excellent. Many thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching.